The next module that we are going to learn about is the source repository. Go to the top of the screen and select source repository, which is on the most right side. Okay. From the source repository screen, let me start explaining about the basic structures that this module holds. So just like the test case module, source repository has to have folders so that the folder can contain specific source repository files, and these files can be stored under the folder and can be managed with their version. And while managing the versions, you can clone the current status of the source files to your local PC so that you can check out the specific source files to your local site and work on local side. And then lastly, you can upload it back onto the SILKROAD server. And while you are doing that, the server will lock that chosen specific source file for you so that nobody can touch that while you are working on it. So that's the basic rule and the principle of using the source repository module. And besides cloning or checking out functions, there's also some functions called check-in or fetch, or you can also delete some files from your local site or from your website. So there are some helpful auxiliary supportive functions that's provided from SILKROAD ALM. And there are also some functionalities that in regards to adding traceabilities in between requirements and the source repository files. All right, here are the example files, the files from C# and JavaScript and so on. But to show you the whole progress of managing the source files from this screen here, let me go ahead and create our own folder and try to import or load the source repository files. Okay, since we don't have any our own folders, we're gonna have to create one. If you want to create a folder at the highest position of the hierarchical level, you're gonna have to refresh the screen, and when there's no selections made onto the list, in this situation you can click add folder function to create a new folder. So from here on, I'm gonna look for some source files from my local PC to upload it to the folder. The right click on the folder and press add file button. Click browse button on the left. We have C++ source, C++ header. We're gonna choose them all and confirm and commit uploading. Okay, now it's successfully done, and you can check it through by double clicking them. And from this situation on, since we only have single versions existing here, we're gonna make some differentiations to the version so that you can see how this source repository works. Okay, first, I'm going to download it to my local PC by clicking checkout. Checking out basically means that you are going to tell those associates or to the system that you are going to work with it in your local site. Okay, click checkout. It's been checked out successfully. Okay, it's downloaded to your local PC and you want to make some modifications to it. Then you have to open this file somehow. I'm going to just simply open it with the memo file. So I'm going to make some modifications. just like this. I'm gonna save. All right, it's done. And I would like to upload it back to where it was to upgrade the version of the file. So I'm gonna go back to um, the website and right click on the file, and I will choose to check in. Oh, but before clicking check in, let me just quickly tell you about the uncheckout. Uncheckout is simply as literally as it is. It means that you will cancel the checking out situation. So it will unlock that the lock that is been closed to the file so that other users can access to the file. But for now, let me go ahead and check in first. So to check in, I have to browse my file from my local site, which is this one. And I'll commit uploading. So now the version is upgraded. And from here, you'll be able to see the difference that I made on the first line. And if you go to the diff viewer on the right side, click the button on the right top, then the system will automatically choose two latest file versions and show you what has differentiated, what has changed. So if you use this function, then you'll be able to find the modification that's made to the file very quickly. And as long as I'm pretty sure that you remember the whole process that I checked out and checked in, and how much time I spent for that. To reduce the time of checking in and checking out, um, there's another method that we provide to the users. It is called the cloning function. Okay. To It is called the cloning function. The function that you can clone the current situation, the current file status to your local storage as it looks as it is, so that you can control the files from there by making only few clicks. Okay, let's start to use that function from here on. Okay, to use that function, you have to go and double click on SILKROAD agent. You have to go find your SILKROAD agent and right click on it to pop up the settings button. Click it. You have to type in the SILKROAD server URL address, which is demo.nsctech.com. The domain of me accessing the SILKROAD website was SILKROAD web, and I'm gonna type in, and I'm going to type in the IDs and my password. And now we are prepared to use the clone function. Go out to your Windows screen and right click on the Windows screen. And if you're using Windows version 11, then there won't be the icon that I'm looking for. Uh, go down to the bottom of the context menu and choose Show More Options. And there will be the menu that I'm looking for, the SILKROAD clone. If you're using Windows 10 or below that, there will be a SILKROAD clone button right away as soon as you click the context menu. But from Windows 11, you have to look for it. Okay, click SILKROAD clone button. then there will be a window that is going to support you through the cloning procedure. Choose a project name from up top and tracker name. There are all be default choices there. There all will be default choices provided, and choose the files that you would like to clone to your local PC. Okay, for the good of the lecture, for current status, for current situation, you're gonna have to choose the one. Okay. Okay. If you're watching the lecture video, then you might wanna cancel all other four of them and choose the one that we were using for the lecture. Okay, just leave this one only and clone. Now, access the new folder that was just created, the source repository sample folder. Once you access the folder, you'll be able to see the files with the overlays on them, indicating them that these are the same versions as the ones that on the website, or this is the one that's been added to this folder as a new version. Or if somebody checks out from the website and checks in the status of deletion of certain file, then that status will be also updated to your folder too, telling you that this certain file is erased from the website. Okay, let's look into it one by one. Right click on a specific file and show more options, and choose the SILKROAD button. There will be options, a lot of options that you can choose from the right side. Okay, I'll start explaining one by one. If you choose add a function, then if you choose the checkout function, then the system will lock the file from the website either and onto your local site, local storage site too, so that you can modify the file on your own. When you click on the empty side of the folder, and this function provides you with the functions that you can add new files to your website. So for example, once you include some new files to your current folder, and then you choose the add function right here, then the system will ask you if you're going to add these new files to your SILKROAD web server. So that's when it is used. And for the check-in function, you have to check out a specific file first before you can use the check-in function. And you have to modify the file so that you can finally check into the web server. And deletion. Deletion can also be done by clicking on the empty side of the folder. And fetch also can be done by clicking on the empty side of the folder. Fetching here means that you are choosing to download the current versions that's on the SILKROAD website to your folder. So let's assume that you have not been working on this folder for a while and you would like to restart your working by clicking the fetch button so that you can update your old folder to the latest ones. And the uncheckout, we've learned about it. So basically from your folder you can do almost everything without specifically controlling your project from the SILKROAD website, you can just do it here and check the status of the latest upload from the SILKROAD website at the end of your entire work process. This will significantly reduce the work time of yours. Okay, let's get back to the SILKROAD website to finish up the rest of the functions. Okay, from the left top side, you can choose to click the Add Traceability button. Adding traceability will take you through a process of setting up the traceabilities between the requirement items and the source files that you have uploaded to your SILKROAD website. Okay, choose a proper requirement menu and choose the sample file that we use to register the requirements, and see if you can make some connections by dragging and drop them from the lower side, the source file side, to the higher side of the requirements. Okay, once the traceability setting is done, click OK on the right bottom side. And if you want to see the result of traceability setup, you're just gonna have to go to the requirement module on the left top side, click it, and choose the requirement document that you just used to make the traceability, and go to the coverage view on the right side and expand the window. Then there will be the source files that's just connected to your requirements. On the very first level, because the source files were attached to the requirements directly, not going through any test case items or any other test features or something. Okay, come back to this source repository module, and to the right side there's a function called download repository. If you click that, then the whole files that's uploaded to your website will be downloaded to your local site. And this function called show checkout on the right side, this one filters the files that's been checked out by your choice. Quickly click it to confirm the function, and yeah, just like this. This is showing you the sample. We'll be coming back for this function specific after we upload some test results for static analysis results, because these two functions are connected to each other. They are interacting to show specific information once the data is well input into this model here. Okay, we've learned about the source repository module so far. So from here, you can create folders to include files into it, and you can also download the whole folder to your computer by choosing clone functions, and you can make some modifications on certain source files, and you can upload it from your local PC to your SILKROAD website very conveniently. And you can also compare the versions of the source files that's been updated for a long time, for many times, by using the diff version, diff viewer here. And by using the diff viewer, you can choose the specific versions of the specific file, so that you can see the whole history, how it has been changed. And you could have also setting up the traceabilities between the requirement items and the source files, and you could have checked it on the coverage viewer from the requirement module. All right. Next video is going to be about the configuration management module. See you in the next video.